So this is Sunday Stamping, and if you're new to my page, my name is Jenna Moore. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in London, Ontario, Canada, and every Sunday at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, I go live on my page and I share with you new projects, new products, techniques, whatever I'm working on in my craft room. So tonight I have something that's kind of timely. Hopefully it's not, hopefully it all works out. Let's just say that. Stampin' Up! Has a promotion right now for the month of March, and certain items that coordinate or that go with the mini cut and emboss machine are 20% off. So not only is the machine 20% off, but the bundles that go in the mini machine are also 20% off. So I'm starting off this month by showing you one of those bundles, and I'll explain more about that when we flip the camera. Tonight is also the last call for classes for March. So there is an in-person Stamp-A-Stack that is happening Friday, March 18th, and there is also a class to go option which happens the next Friday, March 25th. Tonight is the last night to RSVP for those classes, so if that's something that you're interested in, please make sure to visit the events tab on my Facebook page and RSVP with payment tonight. That gives me enough time to be able to prep your kits and order any product that we might need. And again, because we're still in this weird time in person, you need to RSVP to be able to attend, and we are asking for masks at this time. Not when you're sitting at your table, but if you're getting up and you're close to somebody, you do need to do that. If you have any questions, let me know. So let's flip down and we'll get started with the crafting. So yes, I've got this new, we had to rejig the cameras, so things just, it'll take me probably another time until I get everything just right. So we're in a new month, so I've got a new March host code. So that's there. So if you're shopping with me online and your order is $50 or more, make sure that you're entering the host code. It gives you the designated spot to do that, and you'll receive a free gift from me. That gift comes the beginning of April. So once a month closes, then you'll receive your gift from me separate. So that is something to know. And then, so here's the information about the sale that's going on. So the mini machine is regular $82. It's now 20% off, so it's $65.50. And the bundle I'm going to show you tonight is actually not a bundle in the annual catalog, but for this promotion, they have bundled the dies and the stamp set. So we are actually looking at the Celebrate Sunflowers stamp set and die set, which is kind of timely because if you've been under a rock, maybe you wouldn't know this, but with all that's going on in Ukraine, I have come to learn that sunflowers are the national flower of Ukraine. So this is a stamp set and a bundle I thought that we would start with in honor of Ukraine and thinking about all the people there. And so this is a bit of a touchy subject, so that's why we'll see how this goes. There are a bunch of card makers across the world who are doing cards for Ukraine. It's a hashtag that has been trending recently, so every time I go on social media, I have seen cards for Ukraine. So not only with sunflowers, but also with blue and yellow. I'm just seeing if my video is lagging. Let me know if the video is freezing for you. Anyways, okay, back to this. Yellow and blue, of course, are the colors of the flag of the Ukraine. And so not only seeing sunflower images, but also blue and yellow have been common in cards for Ukraine. So I'm going to show you a couple of cards that I've made with this bundle. The one I'm going to craft with you tonight is featuring yellow and blue in, just to recognize the people of Ukraine. And so I'm going to show you that card. If you have any questions about any of the products as we're going through, let me know. So like I said, the stamp set and the dies are separate. They're not bundled in the annual catalog right now. But for this period with the sale, you are getting not only the bundle price, because the bundle price is usually 10% off, but this sale is 20% off. So they are together 20% off. The Celebrate Sunflower is a red rubber stamp set. I really love using this big sunflower. I use it all the time. It's probably the most used stamp in this set for me. And then the dies are beautiful. We're going to work with this die tonight. This is the die that I use most often, but it's nice because it comes with the leaves, and then they also have these, I don't know if these are wheat, I don't know, they're stems of some kind. As you can tell, like, I don't have a green thumb. I don't know what any of these unless they're blatantly obvious, I don't know what any of these pieces are in the floral sets. So let's put this aside, and I'm going to grab the card, and hopefully I can find the pieces here. So we're going to pull out the mini machine. We're going to pull out these. So this is the card we're going to make tonight. So it's using that very detailed sunflower die. I've pulled in some blue and yellow. So this piece of paper, I'll show you the pack in a second. And we're also using embossing folders that go in the mini machine, because there are a few that will fit in the machine. And then we're using one of the sentiments from this stamp set. So I'm going to put this aside, and I'm going to show you the pieces for the card as well as the measurements. So I'm using a piece of thick basic white. So the thick paper, let's see if I can stop this from zooming. The thick basic white is what I prefer to use when I'm using white as my card base. And this is a basic card base size, which measures 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. Then we have a piece of Bumblebee cardstock. This is one of our ink colors that will actually be leaving at the end of April, I believe, because every year one set of ink colors retires, and then we bring in another set. So ink colors last for 2 years, and then they retire, and then a new set comes in. So this measures 5 inches by 1 3/8, and this is the piece we're going to emboss. Then I have this piece of Designer Series paper. So this side is Night of Navy, and this pack of paper is the Sweet Symmetry 12 by 12 DSP. This is in the annual catalog. It's floral on one side and then patterned on the other side. So this pack of paper actually pulls in Night of Navy. It also pulls in Bumblebee, I believe, yes. So I've cut this piece 3 inches by 4 inches. Can take a sip of coffee here. Okay, and then we have really they're scraps. So one scrap of basic white, one scrap of Night of Navy. We're going to cut those for the sentiment. And then I'm using Night of Navy ink to coordinate with the paper. So let's get started. I'm going to put everything to the side, and we're going to work on our die cutting first. So this is the tricky part. What did I do with my, oh, here we go. So I have a piece of gold foil, which is what I used to die cut the sunflower. So this should really measure probably 3.5 by 3.5 inches, and I cut mine too small. But that's okay, because we're gonna make it work anyways. It would happen that I would cut the piece of gold foil too small on my last piece of gold foil. So that will be on my next order. But anyways, that's okay, because we're gonna make it work. So with these dies, I would highly recommend that you buy the adhesive sheets, because with this detailed die, unless you want to fuss with liquid glue or the fine tip glue, this sheet of adhesive will work a lot better. So you cut down the adhesive sheet to the size that you want. So I'm cutting it basically so that it fills the back of this gold foil paper, and you peel and stick. So got that one piece on, and it comes in strips, so it makes it quite handy. using on different measurements of paper. So we've got that, and I put it on the back, and then we have our gold foil ready to go. So I'm gonna open my mini machine. The nice thing about the mini machine is it's nice and portable, so if you were going to your trailer or something, or you know, you have a small craft area, this would be a great machine for that space. And it comes with all the plates you need to use the machine. So 2 embossing plates, and then we have 2 cutting plates and the die base plate. So we're gonna put this in. I'm gonna see if I can zoom out a bit so you can see the machine. Okay, here we go. So we're putting my gold foil paper down, and then I'm gonna put this detailed sunflower on top. So as you can see, just a little short in the width, but I'm gonna fit it as best as possible. And then crank that through. Now, because I have the adhesive sheet on it, I am going to go back and forth. If I didn't have the adhesive sheet on it, it would be fine. I'm going to put this aside because we're going to need that machine again for embossing. And then I'm pulling this out. Actually, that cut pretty well. Just a little small edge that didn't make it. And then actually I'm going to put this aside. I'm going to bring the machine back in, and we're going to emboss this piece of Bumblebee. So the embossing folder that I've chosen for this strip of cardstock is the polka dot folder in the checks and dots embossing folders. This is a 2-pack of embossing folders. The narrow embossing folders usually come in a 2-pack. There's various that are available right now, and these fit in the mini machine. So the question is, you have to figure out which plate that you need. So this dark gray one says use with 3D embossing folders, which this one is not. This one says use with standard embossing folder. So I haven't actually used this embossing folder in my mini machine. So let's see if I can figure this out. So I'm going to line up my Bumblebee paper in between the folder. I'll put that down. And I'm going to put my embossing plate on top. Oh, I can do it. There we go. I think my handle needs a bit of WD-40 after this. It's a little squeaky. Okay, there we go. That worked. Okay, and now we can put the machine away. Okay, so we've got our piece of embossed Bumblebee. Everything is getting twisted here. I'm gonna come back in. Okay, here we go. We've got our sunflower, and we've got our card base here. So I'm going to fold that first. So folding on the score line and using my bone folder to burnish that edge. Okay, and then we're going to start assembling. So this layout kind of, I don't know, it kind of came to me in a dream. It's like, you know how you have some of your best thoughts just before you fall asleep? That's somehow how I had the idea for this card. So I don't even know what to tell you. And I don't know if this is exactly how I remember it, but so this lines up to the left-hand side. I feel like this layout is actually one that I'll probably try again using a different piece of designer series paper. I feel like it would lend well to, you know, a lot of different products. This I'm going to layer just a bit over, just like this. And then the nice thing about the adhesive sheets is you peel the backing off like a sticker. And the goal is that you want all these little bits to pull with it so that you don't have to do any poking out of the bits with your take-a-pick tool. Now, I do find that some of the middle little dots here don't always pull with the adhesive sheet, so that's where you're going to go in and just poke the rest of them out. Okay. And the adhesive is very sticky, so it will stick to this card quite nicely. Oh, there's another piece that didn't pop out. Okay, so we've got that. It's got all our adhesive on it. And I'm just going to layer this in the bottom corner, just sort of overlapping all the pieces. Okay. Get that piece out. and that gold just adds some lovely shine to this card. I love the gold foil with this die. I don't know, I feel like every time I do a sunflower I want to do in gold. Okay, and so now we're going to do our stamping. So I've chosen the rectangle postage punch for this sentiment, and I'm going to punch it like that. And this is really fun. It just adds some interest to your sentiment. And again, I'm using the sentiment that says, "Know that you are loved." And we're going to ink it up in Night of Navy. And do that. And then, so what I'm going to do, so I don't know what this piece of Night of Navy measures. It was a scrap I pulled, 1.5 inches. And I'm just actually gonna glue this on. So sometimes, honestly, this is how I fit my pieces for my greetings. And that looks a little crooked. So let's see if I can fix it. Okay, and then I just take my scissors and chop it off. If it's small like this, that's usually how I'll do it. If it's a bigger piece, then I'll pull out my trimmer and cut it. And if you're interested in what that ended up being, I don't know, 2 1/8. I know this rectangle is a funny dimension, so that's why I didn't bother to pre-measure my piece. Now I'm gonna add some layer to this card, so I'm gonna actually pull out my Stampin' Dimensionals, which I've somehow lost at my desk, but that's okay, because I want this to pop up a bit. So we're gonna use a P1 here, and then sort of layer it over here. And then I thought this card could use some embellishment. So I actually pulled out the holiday rhinestones. Even though these are called holiday rhinestones, they have different colors. So I could use Night of Navy on here. I actually just noticed that these were in here. I did use the yellow, which I believe are supposed to be crushed curry, because I was trying to coordinate with the Night of Navy that I already used there, but both of those would work well with this color combo. So I've got those, and then that's our card. So again, I thought that this would be a nice card because it features the sunflowers, plus it features the yellow and blue for Ukraine. So while I was crafting this afternoon, I was actually thinking about this bundle and how I felt about things going on in Ukraine. And so I've made the decision that for any of the bundles that I do sell during the month of March with the sale, that I will be donating my commission from this bundle. And also any of the cards that I create with this bundle, you often see I sell them in some local stores, and my profits from those cards will also be donated to the same charity, because I just feel like that's what we need to be doing right now, is supporting people in Ukraine. So that's how I will be doing that. And I did create some other samples that I do want to show you for other cards created with this bundle. So I have a couple. So when these ink colors first came out, this was a card that actually I did as one of my classes, and it was cased from a demonstrator who I was not able to go back and find the card for, but this was featuring all of those ink colors that came out. We're just missing one in this card, but this is that big sunflower stamp, and just stamped in black, it makes a beautiful statement. It's a beautiful card, a beautiful stamp to be used on cards for all occasions. I like this Thanks a Bunch greeting from this stamp set. And then I had to do a couple with the alcohol blend technique. So I saw a card similar to this one on social media this week, and actually they used a different die set. So it's the new, they use the new Waves of the Ocean die set, but I thought, you know, that I could make that work with the sunflower. So I use that same detailed die. I use the alcohol blend technique in the background. And if you haven't tried the alcohol blend technique, that is definitely something you want to try. I'll link my video that I did with that technique below, so if you want to revisit how to do that, you can do that. And I've used the sentiment, let's celebrate you. I love this one too. I love the scripty fonts, so this one just got me. So this card I also did in the Ukrainian colors, the blue and yellow, because I thought that would be a good color combination. The So Saffron and Night of Navy, those are the blends I used in this one. This one, I wish I could tell you what blends I used. I just pulled a whole bunch out of my kit, so there's a whole bunch of colors in there. And then I do have one more card. It's a fancy fold. So if you're attending this Thursday's fancy fold class and you don't want to see one of the cards that we're creating, then make sure you close your eyes, because this next one is one we're doing in Thursday's class. It does feature the Celebrate Sunflowers set. So this one is actually cased from Rosemary Coleman, who is a demonstrator in Canada. And this one opens like this. How fun is that? As soon as I saw her do this, and I can't remember where I saw it, it was on social media somewhere, I just thought, oh, that's such a fun card. I wasn't really sure that I could pull it off, but it's easier than it looks, which is also great, because you get that wow moment when someone opens your card and they can't believe that you made it. So I'm looking forward to doing this card in this week's class. So I hope that you enjoyed the cards that I showed you tonight. If you have questions about any of the projects or the products that I've used in tonight's session, please let me know. Otherwise, I hope that you have a great week ahead. I don't know if the weather's going to hold and be warm, but if it is, then I hope you get to go out and enjoy it. Otherwise, I will see you next Sunday at 7:30 for another episode of Sunday Stamping. Take care. Good night.